Welcome to this healing video. If you are here, you would have watched the introductory video and have identified the cause of your depression as one or more adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs.
That is, any of a list of events that doctors in studies in the US have identified to be a significant cause of childhood trauma. You would have made a list of your ACEs from the introductory video. Doctors are not entirely sure why our ACEs can cause depression. You will know from the introductory video that the environment in which we grew has a huge effect on us because of the way our minds work. We form patterns of coping behavior in order to survive. Remember that our brains store every event that happens to us, like in a huge filing cabinet, and refers back to them when a coping behavior is needed. And guess what? The more painful or traumatic the event, the better our brains store it. Even if we're not consciously aware of a painful event, our brain never forgets. And herein lies the seeds of depression. How can we live happy, carefree lives when our minds are burdened with trauma? The aim of this video is to help you heal from your ACEs, get on your emotional feet again, and start feeling strong, lighter and happier. I can only encourage you that it is possible and that you will feel better again, quicker than you thought possible. Take it slow, follow the instructions in the video, and enjoy the process. As a recap, here is a list of the known and categorized ACEs, as defined by the ACEs study in the USA. If you haven't already done so, please pause the video and spend some time writing down your particular ACEs from this list. We are going to need these in the course of this healing video. Some ACEs will be extremely painful to remember. It is possible that you have been to therapy to deal with them and you have found that it didn't help. Or you may be so tired of bringing up these events again and again. I just want to reassure you that what you're about to experience is different to anything you've done before. It has helped many people to recover from depression and to deal with painful memories.
So please just bear with me and know that you are about to experience a profound form of healing.
Warning. Part of the technique involves reliving events as if you were experiencing them again. I know that this will most likely be very traumatic in itself. Please be assured that those intense feelings will soon feel very different, but we have to go through it again. We spend so much of our mental energy on trying to stop remembering the pain of the event. It is like sweeping it all under the carpet, but we know what happens with things when we sweep. They just pile up. The same with emotional pain. It never truly goes away until we deal with it. So please just trust me for now. Go with it. You will be facing the memories for one last time and they will cease to bother you. I know this probably sounds impossible. Please for now just trust me, go with the process and take a step towards your own freedom. When you are ready, let's begin. First, we are going to need to make some notes. You can do this on paper or on your computer. Now, for each ACE that you experienced, you will need to write down 3 to 6 actual specific events you remember happening. Some events would have happened repeatedly, so much that it feels like a constant theme of your childhood or teenage years. In that case, write down a couple of incidents you do remember that carried the theme, so to speak. Take your time to really unpack as many hurtful memories as possible. Think of this as a list of all the painful things you wish had never happened, that you wish could disappear. We are going to make them disappear, at least from the effect that they are having on you to cause your depression. So write them all down, all the events that you want to be gone. To help you see what I mean, I'll use one of my ACEs as an example. And that was disliked by a sibling, favoritism by parents. My sister always giving me the bent spoon when she set the table for the family, even though she knew I hated it, as it made me feel different and left out. My sister refusing to talk to me or play with me, even though we shared a room. Specific memories of this from the Ganubi house, the Parkhurst house, and the Greenside house. Walking to school alone as my sister wouldn't walk with me. My dad saying my sister was his blue-eyed girl and his favorite on the trip with Neville. My dad only naming 4 children when asked about his kids after his brain injury, leaving my name out. If you can remember more than 3 to 6 specific events, choose the ones with the highest emotional charge around them, the ones that are the most hurtful. Keep a record of the others too. Please pause the video now to make your list. So now you should have a list of events, specifically related to your own adverse childhood experiences that you identified before. What we are going to do now is to give your subconscious mind a different pattern or blueprint to reference. It may sound odd, but it really works. I'll explain why, and then we'll dive in and start the process. As we saw in the intro video, our mind works constantly to protect us by storing every event in its vast memory banks, like in a filing cabinet, from when we are born. As we go through life and face different events, it refers to each past event and compares what we've done before, what worked and what didn't work. All of this is done as quick as a flash, without our conscious awareness. Then we find ourselves repeating the behavior that worked, but worked only in the sense to keep us alive, not necessarily what's truly best for us. Because most of our behavior patterns were formed at a very young age, before the development of the logic part of our brain. So our actions and reactions, while they keep us alive, are not always the best choice. The mind also never forgets hurtful memories, even if we don't remember them at a conscious level. That's so that we don't forget the lesson and get into trouble by behaving in a way that didn't keep us safe. These repeating behavior patterns also become our normal, and it's this that gives our brain a pattern of depression if that's what we grew up with. So we first need to heal any hurt associated with our childhood memories. As we do so, the mind lets go of the need to hold on to them, and we start to empty the filing cabinet of events the mind refers back to. As these get cleared, our blueprint changes. And when we're dealing with depression, our minds can finally lose the pattern of accumulated memories of incidents that could contribute to our depression. To make this video easier to follow, I'm going to call each of these specific incidences that you remember the event. You are going to use the following healing sequence on each and every event that you've written down. For now, choose one event you want to work on. Think of the event as a movie clip with a start and a finish. So it is a specific incident at a specific time. The first thing to do is take a moment to unpack the feelings and emotions the event caused. So sit for a minute and really feel those feelings. Write them down or make a mental note. For example, the event made me feel sad, lonely, left out, hurt, the odd one out, like there's something wrong with me. Also note, if you'd like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how intense those feelings felt. If 10 is very high and 1 is almost negligible. Now we are going to start the healing process. It is easier to do this with your eyes closed. So make sure you are in a private and safe place and that you are comfortable. And now just follow along with me. You can open your eyes at any time to look at the screen, but you don't have to. You can just follow my voice. We start by closing our eyes. And as you do so, start to follow your breath. Notice your in-breath and your out-breath. Notice how the air feels cool in your nostrils as you breathe in and warm as you breathe out. And as you put your focus on your breath, notice how it seems to lengthen, but you don't have to force it. Now, as you inhale, start to imagine that the breath you are breathing in is flowing in through the middle of your chest and flowing out through the middle of your chest. Now imagine that the air you are breathing in is a beautiful, bright, healing sunshine. Breathe this healing light into your heart. See it bringing that warm energy to every cell of your body. As it goes to every cell, it finds any bit of discomfort, disease, sad emotion, and as you breathe it out, it takes all of this with it and breathes it out through your heart. So you're breathing a beautiful healing light into your heart, and you're breathing it out through your heart. Keep focusing on your breath, breathing in and out through your heart until you start to feel really calm and at peace. Keep your focus on that heart area in the middle of your chest. It can feel warm, light, gentle, restful. Sometimes you can feel a sense of heaviness in this heart area. That's okay. Notice if it shifts as you continue with the process. Stay with this until you can feel that you are in your heart space. It should feel very different from your normal head space. You may find that your brain chatter fades into the background as you do this. If you find that thoughts keep on intruding as you do this exercise, thoughts of tomorrow, or that this is silly, or it won't work on me, or what has this got to do with depression, acknowledge them and just keep bringing your attention back to your heart. It is the job of the mind to wonder, so we don't judge it. We just keep coming back to our heart center. This can be foreign for some of us, as we've never done this before. So take your time, try to sink into that heart area. It can help to put your hand on the middle of your chest. Just keep drawing your attention to the middle of your chest. You'll know when you're there because it feels calm, peaceful, and good. And now, in that center of your chest, in your heart space, we are going to generate a feeling of pure, unconditional love. The easiest way to do this is simply by bringing to mind the face of a baby or a young child you know, even your own children when they were very little, or a close friend or family member, even a beloved pet. Or you can think of a loving scene that is meaningful to you. If that feels difficult for you, think of something you are grateful for. Even something small like a good cup of coffee this morning, waking up in a comfy bed, an encouraging phone call from a friend, anything that you're grateful for. This is a very important part of the process, so take your time until you can feel a rush of love, joy, or gratitude as you think of a person, a pet, a loving scene, or something you're grateful for. And then sit with that feeling of love or gratitude in your heart space for a bit. You may have heard it said that love is not a feeling. Research is showing that love is actually a powerful vibrational energy. That's why we use it in this healing technique. It is very important to be able to generate this energy. I'm going to call it a heartburst. So sit with this exercise, even pause the video if you need to, until you can feel a heartburst. Now into that heart space, I'm going to ask you to connect with your higher self. This may sound strange to you. All this is a personification of the connection between our heart and our brain. It's a way to consciously access our highest wisdom, our intuition. Research shows that the heart is an access point to a greater source of wisdom and intelligence than just our brains. We know this instinctively. We talk about following your heart and a sense of knowing that seems to come from somewhere other than our brain. Through our heart, we have access to all memories, all events that have happened to us, all of the deepest secrets of our heart, even if we aren't consciously aware of them. So sit quietly for a minute and see if you can feel a sense of connection to your higher self. You may feel it immediately, a warm, wise, and kind presence. You may be able to see or imagine him or her. You may just get a vague sense of a presence in your heart. Or you may feel not much at all. Whatever happens, just trust that the connection is there. Invite him or her to help you with the healing process we're going to do right now. We start by bringing in the heartburst. So just do that now by thinking of a person or pet you love, a loving scene or something you're grateful for. And now in this space in your heart, we are going to play the movie clip of the event. What I mean is that you will relive the event as if it was happening again right now. I know that this is likely to feel horrible. Just know that it is part of the healing process. So please just trust me for now and know that we need to go through this in order to heal. What is also most important is to really allow yourself to feel the feelings you felt at the time, to the full extent of their intensity. They may even feel overwhelming. It is a survival mechanism we use to block, suppress, or even deny our feelings, because they are often simply too painful to deal with. But that is like sweeping dirt under a carpet. It never goes away and piles up until it can't be ignored anymore. So right now, play the event back as if it were happening right now. Take your time. Allow yourself to really feel the feelings you felt at the time, perhaps for the first time ever. Allow the feelings to almost overwhelm you as you see yourself right back in that situation. Know that your higher self is with you in this process, there to protect you and help you heal. If your brain chips in with any thoughts like, it wasn't that bad, or I got over it okay, anything like that, just acknowledge the thoughts and gently push them aside. This is not the place for thoughts. It's the place for the wisdom of the heart. It is the job of the brain to think. So just push the thoughts away without judgment and keep bringing your attention back to the event in your heart. Now the feelings should be feeling pretty intense, even overwhelming. Avoid the temptation to push them away to stop this process. You will notice that no matter how awful the feelings are, they didn't kill you and cannot actually harm you. And now, push the memory of the event away, and as you do so, bring up the heartburst, that feeling of love or gratitude into your heart by bringing to mind somebody you love or something you're really grateful for. Allow the energy of love or gratitude to fill your heart space. Don't even think of the event while you do so. Sit with this feeling for a bit. Notice how it can expand from your heart to every part of your body. It's a wonderful, warm, glowing sensation. If it works for you, feel that feeling of love surrounding and enveloping the event with its beautiful, warming energy. And now we are going to switch back to the event. So bring up the movie clip again, and once again, immerse yourself in it and allow yourself to feel the emotions you felt at the time. Really feel them. Take your time. Notice if the emotions feel any different this time. When the emotions feel so strong as to be almost overwhelming, again, gently push the event away and feel the heartburst. Fill your heart space with love or gratitude by switching to thinking of someone you love or something you're grateful for. Allow it to fill your heart. Really focus on that energy. Now we are going to keep switching between this event and the energy of love or gratitude. Do this as many times as you need to. You may want to pause the video right now as you do that. Now, while you are still in that heart space, ask yourself, in an ideal world, what would I have loved to have happened at the time instead of what did happen? If it helps, imagine yourself as an adult going to that younger self and asking him or her. Wait for the answer to come, and then, in as vivid detail as you like, see that happening instead as if it really did. Key to know here is the way our brain works. We cannot make it as if the event didn't happen. What we can do is imagine an outcome or a way of it happening that would help you cope with it better. So, for example, if the situation involved abuse to either you or someone else, you may want to imagine a bigger, stronger person coming to intervene. Whatever feels safest and most protective for you as your younger self, see that happening. If it involved an accident or death of someone you love, you cannot undo the accident. But maybe you wanted more time with them, or to be with them, to comfort them. Maybe there are things you needed to say, or things you regret saying. These are things to reimagine in an ideal world. When you notice that the feelings and emotions around the event are much less, or they have gone altogether, when it feels like there is a distance between you and the event, or that it feels less relevant or significant, you know the process is finished. It can feel as if the event has faded, like the sting is out of the memory. The emotions and feelings will be way down. At this point, you can bring your attention back into your body, into the room that you're sitting in, and open your eyes. Now, while you are sitting there, bring the event to mind again. Put yourself back into the time and place that it happened and relive the memory. Check if your emotions are as intense, or if they're even there at all. Again, do this in a day or two and see if the effect holds. If not, keep working on the event until there are no feelings and emotions attached to it, like it was just an event that happened. Then you'll know that you have cleared this event's effect on your life. What you can also do now is to find any other events in your past that bring up the same feelings or emotions that you felt at the time of the main event. In this way, you deal with themes or patterns in your life that may have been ruling you for many years. You should notice an immediate sense of lightness as you finish working with the event. You may notice a release of tension in your neck or throat or stomach. After 1 or 2 days, you should start to really feel different. The cloud moving off, or a sense of coming out of the deep, dark pit. You should start to feel lighter and happier until you get to a point where you feel really, really good. The technique works for everyone. The only time people struggle is if they battle to connect to their heart. If you struggle, you can practice this part until you've got it. Just practice dropping into your heart space whenever you can. Some people really battle to quieten the mind chatter as well. This can get in the way of doing the technique. You can overcome this too with a bit of practice. Depression is always a result of events in our lives, either past or present. Actually, more specifically, it is from the emotions and feelings we attach to the event. Even if your depression is from a major traumatic event in your life, there could be seeds in other things that have happened to you. If your depression returns, it will be very useful to find these seeds. The key is a process I call follow the feelings. Remember how you really had to experience the feelings you felt at the time of the event during the healing process? To follow the feelings, look back over your life and find any event or time where you felt the same feelings as these. So it won't necessarily be a similar event. It will be something that happened to you either recently or further back in your past that made you feel the same emotions. It may help to write these down and then see if you can identify other times you felt the same. And then you simply use the same healing process to heal these events.
Thank you for experiencing this video with me. I hope you found the healing process as fascinating as I do. I encourage you to use it anytime you experience an event that